Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by TheLines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer. He's on the East Coast. And we are looking at Game 2, Cleveland-Indy here for Tuesday night. We've also got another episode up with Game 1 for that Dubs and Minnesota Timberwolves series in mini. So definitely want to make sure to subscribe to this channel. We're going to continue to bring you episodes for each of these games individually so we can really dig into some of these matchups and insights that you guys need for all the series. Also want to make sure you know about the newsletter. It comes out every Friday. You can get that in the link in the description of the video. Make sure you're staying on top of all the sports betting news we're bringing you guys from a recap of the week, plus looking ahead to next week. Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into Game 2. A lot of injury tags here for the Cavs. DeAndre Hunter, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley, all currently listed as questionable.
Yeah, which is why. So I have Donovan Mitchell leading scorer as of this morning was even money. And I think that market is down right now because they want to make sure Evan Mobley is going to play or not before they hang a different number. I mean, we'll probably see a minus 130 or shorter in terms of this market for Mitchell if Mobley doesn't play. Because honestly, his teammate is the biggest threat to lead the team in scoring other than the Pacers, who are just like absurdly balanced, have played like 10, 11 guys sometimes in the playoffs, and just are very unlikely to have anyone really go like 20 plus. I mean, maybe Siakam has a much better shot here if Mobley's not healthy or if he's not in there. But I'm still not like as worried about Pascal Siakam going off for 30 against anyone but the Milwaukee Bucks. That just hasn't happened in the playoffs in a long time. I mean, Halliburton averaged 18 his last full regular season, 6 regular season games against the Cavs. Had an absurdly nice shooting performance there in Game 1. I don't really expect him to be dropping 25, 30. And Donnie's just going to continue to be in attack mode. I mean, he had 33 in that game, and he shot 1 for 11 from 3. So it was all just like easy pickings going to the rim. I mean, certainly if Garland comes back, there's going to be a little bit of an acclimation period where he's not ready to just like totally take over, and he's going to see a healthy bit of Nembhard. But I mean, whether it's Nembhard or Nesmith, Donnie hasn't really had any issues with Indy's defense. You look at the 33 plus in 4 of his last 5 regular season against his team, shooting very well, 51-41%. He even matched Indy's top scorer in the one where he did not have 33 plus. just to show you what I'm talking about with Indy. Like 19 points was enough to match them, and they lost that game by 15. I mean, but we know Donnie is good for 30 plus most playoff games, and his core prop is 27.5 here. His last 6 home playoff games, he's at 32.2. His last 4 following a loss in the playoffs, 31.5, 34% usage rate, basically in both situations. And he was the leading scorer in 2 of in the last 3 here following a loss for the Cavs. He, it's been 4 games since he was not because Paolo had 39. But, I mean, just matchup-wise, like, even if Mobley's in there, Pacers have done a really good job on power forwards. They've been awful against shooting guards over the last month of the season here, so it's not that surprising that Donovan Mitchell had success here in Game 1, and I think he just puts more on his shoulders here. We'd look at some first quarter stuff for him as well to just come out hot here following the loss.
Yep. No qualms with that. Like because I think Donnie's going for 30 again. Don't know what's up with Darius. I think these dudes are legit questionable. I mean, I think Mobley plays when you talk about like a turned ankle. A lot of guys in the NBA can come back from that pretty quickly, maybe get a little something in there for the pain before the game, and then you're pretty much good to go as long as you don't, you have a brace on it and you're not really in jeopardy, I should say, of further injuring it. Darius, I don't really know. That toe is legit, and toes are fickle. They're tiny little bones, and sometimes they don't work out. And a lot of people thought he was originally going to be there for Game 1. I don't think they're taking the Pacers lightly necessarily, but I mean, the Pacers are the most underrated team. But just to finish your point, yes, Donnie Mitchell, I like him for 30 plus in this game. So I also like him to be the leading scorer in this game. But if I'm talking about my first bet, I'm just taking those Pacers right now. The yes sirs. It's so corny, but it's so good. I love the yes sirs. +9 for them on the road once again. They ain't scared, man. Let me just start with that. Like, like Halliburton, don't like Halliburton, like his dad, don't like his dad. He is not really shying away from too many moments, and he's not chucking step back threes. He's going to the bucket, man. Two in a row in terms of like last ditch buckets that they needed twice, including the game winner. And he's finishing at the rim with top tier defenders on him. Like so impressed with that dude in that last game. And if you talk about like without Garland, Mobley, and potentially DeAndre Hunter, like DeAndre Hunter hit some big threes for them to even keep this thing close in the second quarter and in the third quarter. And if he's not a go as well, then yeah, I mean, and he's got the shoulder, I believe. So yeah, with the thumb. He's got the thumb, Garland toe, and then ankle for Mobley. But yeah, without like two of those guys or one of those guys, this is still like, to me, with everybody healthy, if they were full strength and not even potentially injured, I think this is about a 7 like at most I give them 7.5 points if they're on. And I'm not trying to disrespect them and their offense this season, but Indy is easily the most underrated team in this playoffs from the jump. Outside of maybe if you think like Denver has a run in them and we're all just like overlooking Denver, but you know what I mean by underrated in this case, where we're like their ceiling was too low, was the thought process. But they have the third best win percentage since the All-Star break. They're seventh in net rating. They have the fifth highest assist percentage, and they're sixth in true shooting. And I didn't even get into like the fast break stuff that they finally started playing at a top 6 pace in the league as well down the stretch, to really boost them up to top 6 in the league in pace. And that's what they want to keep doing. Also like points in this game, but I don't like the individual matchups on defense for Cleveland. I don't like Max Strus to be fully responsible for just stopping Halliburton. And that goes for his ability to get the assist too, because he was causing problems by getting into the lane, diming up a lot that way with his 13 assists in that game, and then finishing at the rim at the end because everybody was scared to come off of their guys for Cleveland. If you look at that matchup, don't like it. Whomever you're going to give to Nemby, to our boy, to Andrew Nembhard, going to love that matchup for him as well, because they're going to either be putting a Merrill on him or if Garland is in, a Garland on him. And you people hopefully know what you and I think about Ty Jerome and his abilities, including on defense. Very, very good pesky defender and bigger than big enough to mess with Nembhard. But either way, like I'm going to keep going on that matchup as well. So the points in the paint were just all Cleveland, and Indy's okay trading twos for threes. I don't know that they can get the 52% that they hit from three once again in this game. But even if that comes down, there's a couple other places that could come up, like fast break points and like limiting those turnovers, where Cleveland turned a lot of those turnovers into points to outscore them a lot in that category as well.
Yeah, I mean, you said you like points in this game. You can parlay Indy and the over and get like 3-1 on your money. I mean, just yeah, like the thing that sticks out, yeah, is the 53% from deep in game one. But I mean, honestly, if you're following the Cavs down the stretch, they were just awful guarding the 3-point line, like just an awful perimeter defense, and they routinely play these shootouts. They played with fire and they got burned in game one because they could not match what Indy was putting out. So I mean, unlike most correlations where you think like, oh, low scoring game, the underdog covers, like Indy's game could be to just like, yeah, ramp it up, continue to score, and capitalize on the fact that defensive player of the year is not healthy, and that they can continue to push advantages there, and put points on the board one way or another, like you're saying. But look, if Mobley's not out there, I mean, that has also changed this line. I had Max Strus at even money for 7.5 rebounds and assists. That is now minus 130-ish. I think just the rebounds, 4.5, are pretty close to even here. And I do like that either way here. I mean, certainly his assists are going to be a little more reliable if Garland's not back. But he's doing both, and the minutes are there. I mean, it didn't last long with him on Halliburton. The Cavs pretty quickly shifted to just him guarding like a corner 3-point shooter, whoever that might be, and pinching down for some boards there in game one. The result was 7 of 12 rebound chances, and a team high 3 of those were contested. And down the stretch, look, Mobley and Allen were just not going up there for contested rebounds. Like just as an aside, like the Cavs, it was like the Cavs of 2 years ago when they were getting bullied by the Knicks. It's like, dude, you know, playoff rebounds are harder to come by, right? But Strus has been a playoff performer for a while, as we know. Last playoffs with Cleveland, he averaged 5.3 on 9 chances, and far bigger playmaking role, right, with this Cavs offense. Like that's the big thing with the assists, is he is a big cog in the wheel that is this Cavs offense. As much as I poo-pooed their defense, like I don't expect their offense to sputter the way it did. to shoot under 25% from three. And even with that happening, right, he's at team high 39 passes in his last three, 4 assists on 6.3 potentials, and second on the team in assist points created, as just the guy who's catching on the perimeter, making one move, and then or just like swinging it, and it's an open 3-point shooter. And for what it's worth, the last 5 home games with no Darius Garland, going back to the end of last season, he's averaging 7.6 boards, 4.8 assists, is a plus 41 in 30 minutes per game. So Max Strus can step up, whether one or both of these guys is out.
Definitely. I do like this if Garland is out for sure. And he's definitely been a bit more involved either way. He was en route to doing this consistently in the Heat series, and then the games were over by halftime in that series. So that's not going to be the case here as we know now. And he's definitely going to be a bit more involved, especially if they are going to be running him off the 3-point line. If Garland is in, I almost like the threes a bit more. If they do leave him a little bit more than they might leave a couple other guys. But yeah, the rebounds and assists is going to be a great look. To your point, whether you knew that some of these guys were out or not, it's going to. I think you're going to end with some really nice CLV on it. So. Let me close out. Thank you for leaving this one for me. Andrew Nembhard still is too low, so we're going over 12.5 points. Still going to go 15 plus for him. Not quite 2-1 anymore like it was because of whatever reason, people sleeping on him. But still love this dude. I mean, he's a 15 points per game player in the playoffs since last season. Same cap from last time. What's really funny is like I feel like even last season as he was scoring buckets, I didn't see these tweets. I didn't see the mainstream media. I didn't see him on Sports Center. But then this last game, he played 39 minutes. He was super impressive because he got to 20 plus. He was also super impressive because he had so many assists and so many potential assists, in addition to being the main Donnie defender. And he finally got the pub. I felt like that was literally the first time in postseason history for Nembhard since last year that he got the pub he deserved. Still getting it 12.5. Like still not enough respect in terms of what you believe him to do. It's not just like he's having a couple games where he goes 30 or 25 points and that really skews his averages. Like before, he doesn't even have that many 20-point games in the playoffs, and he's still averaging 15 a game, which just tells you the consistency of the shots. And for him, it's really key that he gets 10 to 12 shots in the playoffs. He's at an 85% hit rate when he takes 10 to 12 shots in the playoffs, and he's plenty of times taken 14, 15 shots as well. And we saw that with Halliburton, like him getting really the best defender consistently, also able to get into the lane. And Nembhard was on the end of like 3 wide open catch and shoots in just the first half alone from 3, which is why he almost got there and then did go over this last time in the third quarter. So easy matchup. Don't need to like bang this into the ground too hard. You know where I'm at with it. And I'm going to keep playing this to about 13.5 points.
He is a killer, man. Andrew Nembhard, those last couple threes he shot, it's just like he does it. He's expressionless, so you don't like think like, oh, he's got the dog in him, right? But because maybe it's the Canadian thing, but like he is just so locked in the playoffs, like it's unbelievable. And the Pacers might be leaning on this kid a little bit more for offense.
Consistently. Yep, for sure. So that's all the time we have for you in this one, though. Make sure you are subbed to that channel so you can also check out the other episode we have for Tuesday night with the Wolves and Dubs. Until we see you next, happy betting.